Good morning and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to share with you guys my top 3 favorite products in each category. Some of these were like a no-brainer, some of these were really hard, but I think I managed to pick 3 in each category. I think I have one exception or 2. We'll see. This video has been inspired by other YouTubers. I want to say Julie Adams started it, but I'm not 100% sure. But I saw her do it first, and I think it's just such a brilliant idea to let people know what you prefer. Like if you had to only pick 3 products in each category, which ones would that be? So if you're interested, continue watching. If you enjoy this video, subscribe down below and hit the like button. It really helps me out. All right, starting off with primers. I have 3 options, of course. My first option is the Supergoop Glowscreen SPF. This is a SPF 40, but I use it mainly as my primer. Many times I use another SPF just because it's in the morning. I do my skincare and put an SPF, and this sits in my primer collection. It has a beautiful glow to the skin. Foundation goes on top of it very smoothly. I find it moisturizes my skin, and yeah, I just love the effect. My skin is more of the normal to dry, and so I really enjoy products like these that moisturize and give a glow, and overall I love a glowy base. The next product is more of a pore filling primer, and I've been using it for years and years and years. I've had it in my kit, and that is the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. This one is more of a thicker consistency, and you have to press it into the skin. If you overuse it, it's just gonna peel off. So I would say this is a little bit finicky, but once you figure out how to use it, it works so well. You just press it into the skin. You don't want to drag it, and it just covers all your pores. It fills them, and so the foundation is extremely smooth over it, and it looks flawless. I really enjoy it. Now, I don't use this all over my face. I literally just use it right here. Now, the next one is kind of a mixture between these two, and it is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. This is the liquid one. I also like the regular one, and again, I have minis because it takes me a long time to go through. Let me find this first. Okay, it takes me a long time to go through a primer, so that's why I buy a lot of minis. So I like both of these just the same, but next time, once I run out of these, I will be purchasing a full size. I would say that gives you a lot of smoothness, just like the Tarte one, but it is a little bit easier to work with. It's not quite as thick, and you can kind of spread it all over the skin. With a Tarte, I find that if I do that, it can peel. So yeah, I really enjoy that. If I'm in a hurry, that's the one I would go for. Moving on to foundations. Now, this one I had trouble with. I wasn't sure which one I should pick. I knew this one, the first one I'm going to talk about, is a no-brainer, and that is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is a favorite. It's been in my collection for a very long time, and I keep repurchasing it. It is stunning. It is just such a good, I would say it's a medium coverage foundation. It's not super glowy. It's just, it has a radiance to it, but it is not like the Huda Beauty glowish. It is luminous, not glowy. And so I really enjoy it. I feel like it sits so on the skin. I can use this in the summer or winter, and it just looks perfect. I never have issues with this foundation. So this was a no-brainer. So that one is more of a medium coverage for me. I don't love full coverage foundations, so I picked one that I could make it more of a full coverage, more of a medium coverage foundation, and it is so expensive. This is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation. It is what I'm wearing today. If I could only have 3 foundations, this would definitely be one of those, because I find it extremely beautiful on the skin. It looks like skin, but it gives you coverage. It definitely is extremely expensive. It's probably not worth the money. I don't think any foundation is worth the money, But again, if I could only have 3, I would definitely miss this one. I would love to have this one in my collection. And I would use this one more of a medium to full coverage foundation, but it still looks like skin. It has a luminosity to it, and I find it just skin-like. So beautiful. I really enjoy it. And then the next foundation is a battle. So I kind of wanted to mention it. The one I picked was the Koh Gen Do Aqua Foundation because I find this to give me more coverage than the Chanel Water Fluid Foundation. These are kind of hand in hand. I feel like because I have a medium to full foundation, I really wanted an extremely light foundation. That's why I kind of picked this one, because it just looks stunning on the skin, and I find it perfect. It's amazing. I really like it. It has like 10% coverage and the rest is just smoothing. But the Aqua Foundation has been in my collection for such a long time. It has been so loyal to me. I've used it for years and years and years, and I can get a pretty sheer coverage with this. I just put 1 dot and it's like water on my skin. Again, it looks radiant, luminous, without being too oily or slippery. It stays on really, really well, and it gives me just a little bit more coverage than, well, actually a lot more coverage than the Chanel one, but these are kind of like there. I just thought I would mention both of them because I didn't know which one to pick. Moving on to concealers, I will start with one that will just go with me all the time. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Under Eye Brightening or Corrector, I'm sorry. This is how it looks like. I have mine in number 2, and between this one and the Bobbi Brown one, honestly, they're just right there. I don't have a small Bobbi Brown one. I just have their big palettes that include the correctors. So that's how I picked the Charlotte Tilbury, because I just have it in a smaller compact. I absolutely love it, and I would say I use this almost every time I do my concealer, except today. I didn't use it today. Overall, that's just amazing. Next one is my go-to concealer for every day, like anytime I just need a concealer that I need to rely on. It is this one, Makeup Forever HD Concealer. It is creamy. It has good coverage. It does not look cakey under my eyes. It does not crease. It is perfection for me. This is my go-to concealer, no questions asked. Just amazing. I don't even need the corrector under this because it gives me enough coverage. So this is definitely my, honestly, first pick of the concealer. And the next one, I was, again, very conflicted. So I will share both of them, but I picked this one. I picked the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Concealer Corrector. The reason I picked this one is that it is a lighter coverage concealer. It looks stunning under the eyes. If I just have some dryness under the eyes, it is perfection. It does not cling to any of my dry patches. I just love it overall for an everyday, not much coverage concealer. And I would pair this one with the Chanel foundation. I think they look stunning, and it's great price. I don't use a lot of drugstores, but this is definitely up there. Like, I just love it so much, and I haven't found one that can beat this in the light coverage concealer. And to be honest, it can be built up to a light to medium coverage. Like, you can get more coverage than just this sheer of color. You can cover and make your under eye look brighter, but overall I would consider this just more of a daily, I barely want makeup on, and it's great. I absolutely love it. And the honorable mention, I feel like I'm cheating way too much, but it is the Pat McGrath concealer. This has been in my collection again since it came out. This is a full coverage concealer, and that's the reason I didn't put it in my top 3s, because I don't love a full coverage concealer, but it really is great, and I would miss this. I think I would miss this if I didn't have it in my collection. Moving on to powders. This was absolutely fast, easy, no questions asked. Pat McGrath Powder Foundation, Under Eye Brightening Powder Foundation. I think that's the name of it. I use mine in light, and I honestly want to pick up the medium shade because I think that would be gorgeous all over the skin. But this white looks very white, but it becomes nothing on the skin. It just smooths the under eye. It is gorgeous. It has a good staying power. It smooths the pores and it's unnoticeable. I love it so much. Next one is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. I have mine in number 1, and it's just great. Again, kind of like the Pat McGrath. It's just so finely milled. It is so gorgeous under the eyes. I would say that this one has more coverage than the Pat McGrath. So like if I mess up my blush a little bit or the bronzer, I can take a little bit of this and buff it all around, and it is perfect. It's so good. And the powder that I would say I use the most out of all of them is the Kosas powder. I have mine in the color Breezy, and I broke the packaging, but this is how it looks like. I already flattened it out, which is just proves to me how much I love it. But honestly, I feel like I could be 3 or 4 different colors because it doesn't have a lot of coverage, but it is the most undetectable powder on the skin, yet it's extremely smoothing. If I could only pick one out of all of them, it would definitely be this one because it works so well with my skin. It works so well with the concealers I have, and it's just perfection. Moving on to brows, I honestly only have 2 to mention, and that is my Gucci brow product, the powder pencil eyebrow. This one. I have raved about this one since I've tried it. I use it every single day. It's gorgeous. And then the next one is the M Cosmetics, it has a weird name, Micro Fluff Sculpting Brow Cream. And this has the tiniest little tip. I know I've talked about this before, and it can really get into all your brows. It can set them, add some color to it, fill in the holes, and honestly it is so wonderful. When I use this, I don't need any other brow product. Now keep in mind, I have pretty thick brows to begin with, like I don't need to fill in a lot, so that's why those 2 products just are perfect for me. Moving on to contouring, I picked contouring and bronzers because they are different. They are. I will start with Makeup by Mario contour stick. This is stunning. Like I just love it so much. I've used it a lot, and I find that it is just such a good, reliable product. I love the color. I have mine in light medium, and it is just perfect for me. If I am in a hurry, I will absolutely pick this one just because it is so fast and easy. It blends in perfectly. It stays on amazing, and I just love the color, and I like the compact. Except the brush here. I don't ever use that brush. I wish that was in there just so I can have you know, a smaller packaging, but such a good product. Next one is an all-time favorite, and that is the Tom Ford Shade Illuminate contour and highlighter. And I'm mainly talking about the contour right now. I love the highlighter too, but this one, again, it is so beautiful on the skin. I just love it so much. I feel like it sculpts me. I have my intensity 1. There's 3 shades, if not 4. It's just perfect. It blends in so well. I like the color on my skin tone. The formula is so unique. It's extremely creamy, but it's so blendable. And it's bonus that I like the highlighter because it is so expensive. But this I just absolutely love. If I didn't have in my collection, I would really miss it. I will mention that the Danessa Myricks Contour Balm is very similar to the Tom Ford. So if you're interested in the Tom Ford, I would say this is a really good dupe. But I would probably pick the Tom Ford over this one just because it also has the highlighter in there, and I love the highlighter. And the last contouring product I am going to mention is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. Now, I haven't used this on camera much because it's so hard to find now. I feel like it's been sold out for forever and I need another one. Look at that. But it is just the weirdest product. It goes on extremely intense and you kind of freak out a little bit. But once you start blending in, it's just like where did it go? It's perfection. It's unnoticeable on the skin. It's amazing. I love it so much. It is definitely a favorite for years now, and I just think it's a brilliant product. Many people don't like the packaging because it kind of gets messy, but you can really lock it, and I feel like that keeps the product in really well. It's not the best packaging, but I do think it's kind of like great. Also, I love this as a nose contour and lip contour. I think it just is stunning because it blends in so well. It's unnoticeable on the skin, and I think that's what I want from a contouring product. I don't want something that it's noticeable and people know that you have a contour. I want something soft that people are like, she looks extra good and sculpted today. Moving on to bronzers. I have 3 bronzers that I surprised myself with. When I thought of which products should I keep, I really thought the bronzers would be different just because I go for other bronzers, but when I thought of if I could only keep 3 and not have any other ones, I thought that these would cover many different makeup looks that I enjoy doing. So I will start with the lightest of them all, and that is the Lila B bronzer. This is very fancy, it's very weighty, and it opens up like this, and this is the color. The only con is that they only have this color, so it's not inclusive. I don't like that. I understand they're a smaller brand, but at this point you should really have more options. However, this stunning on the skin. It's a little bit more of a yellow bronzer. It's not super warm, it's not super cool tone, it's a good neutrally yellow color, and for my skin tone it's really good, and it has just a glow to it. I don't know if you can see on my finger, the swatch isn't great, but yeah, it has just a glow to it, and I think this is amazing. It blends into the skin absolutely great. Honestly, when I first tried it, I wasn't overwhelmed by how great it is. It was just fine, but the more I had it, the more I wore it, the more I wanted to reach for it, because it's simple. You can build and build and build, and it's never too much. And I love the formula. I love the slight sheen that it has. This product is kind of noticeable on the skin. It's kind of a light bronzer, but it bronzes you up, it gives you a glow, and I think for a no makeup look, or for a lighter bronzing day, this is really good, or for winter, amazing. The next one is this massive thing from Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer. I have mine in medium too, and this is how it looks like. This is a matte bronzer, and I thought I would need a good matte bronzer, and honestly this is the best one that I have in my collection. It blends in so well. I like the color overall. I think there's a pretty big jump from the light to the medium, so maybe she'll come out with one in between, but overall it's stunning quality. It is so reliable. You can build it. It doesn't add too much on the skin right away, and I just like the undertone overall. I want the bronzer to look seamless on the skin. I want to look more bronzed, and sometimes I don't want a glow all over the skin, and I think this one is perfect. It is a very creamy, but it blends in really well. Again, you can build it up. It is not too intense on initial application, and it's just a great, reliable product, and you get so much in here. And the last bronzer is this Kosas bronzer. This is in the shade medium, and it is glowy. And the reason I picked this one, it's because it has that red undertone. And so when I am kind of bronzed in the summer, I want a red undertone. I want to look like I just walked out of the beach and I look a little bit burnt, but not orange. And this is where this one comes in. This is a glowy bronzer. If you do not like glowy bronzers, do not get this one, because as you can tell there, it has a glow. However, many times I do want that. You know, if I have no makeup on, just a little bit of bronzer all around, some blush, I want this to be glowy. So I really have been enjoying this bronzer this summer, mostly that I've been self-tanning lately. I really enjoy the color, and overall I just really like the product. Moving on to the hardest category for me is the blush, and I was able to pick 3. Yay me. And they're all cream products. Shocker. Okay, let's start with the least expensive, and one of the most reliable blushes I own is the Honest blushes. These are extremely amazing quality. This will not pick up your foundation. It is not too glowy, but it does give you a sheen to the skin, and the colors are amazing. I have right here Peony Pink, but honestly, I couldn't decide between them. I really like the peach one. I love all the colors. So I just picked the just basic one that probably everybody would want to go for. This is just stunning. It is so good. The colors are amazing. The texture is absolutely gorgeous. You can pick it up with a synthetic brush. You could pick it up with your fingers and just blend in. It's inexpensive, and I've had them for years in my collection, and I keep repurchasing them. And yes, I did go through one of these, which is absolutely amazing. So I really enjoy the Honest blushes, and I don't think they get enough love. The second one is the Tower 28 blush. This specific one is in Power Hour, and I don't know which color I would pick, but I just picked this one because I really like it on the lips as well. And the formula is more intense than the Honest blushes. The formula is a little bit more intense, like the color, and I would say it's a little bit more glidey on the skin. The Hourglass is creamy, but I think it sets matter than this one. But this one, again, blends in amazingly. It is glowy on the skin. You can use it for your lips, and I have been using that for my lips because it's just such a gorgeous texture, and it has amazing staying power. When I say amazing, I mean it stays on till the end of the day. They are so good. I just absolutely love them. And also they're $20, so they won't break the bank, and I think you get quite a lot in here for how pigmented it is. I don't think you're gonna go through this anytime soon. And the last one is the most expensive one, and it's kind of a duo, and that is the Patrick Ta blushes. I used to use these all the time, but with YouTube I kind of need to change things up a little bit. It could be kind of boring if I use the same things, but this has remained my go-to blush since they came out. This is specifically, this color is She's So LA, and this is definitely an everyday amazing blush duo for me. I love the cream a lot, but I also like the powder. So this is kind of cheating because you get 2 in 1. But I really thought that it's worth mentioning because this is what I would pick. This was the first one I picked when I looked through my collection. I was like, yep, that's the one that's been loyal to me. Absolutely love the color, and it looks stunning on the skin. So yeah, this is absolutely amazing. Moving on to highlighters, and that was another area that I was like, I have so many good options. So I will start with the one that I'm probably most excited about, and that is the Lisa Eldridge highlighters. These are kind of new in my collection, but I just adore them. I find these to be one of the most sophisticated highlighters. They are a watery consistency. So they're very liquidy. You know, they're not gel, they're kind of like liquidy. But the way they blend into the skin, the way it makes your skin glow, they're just amazing. I absolutely love them. I have 2 colors, and I honestly like them both. I couldn't pick one color. I'd be indifferent in which color I would pick, honestly. So they're absolutely gorgeous. You know, application can be a little finicky because you just have to have 1 dot. More than that can be a little intense and kind of spreads everywhere, but I just tap it in with my finger and it's perfection. I love it so much. The next one is the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Wand, and this is in Spotlight. And this is so good. This gives you a bling, but somehow it gives you such an intense highlighter without texture and without seeing it on the skin. Again, it blends in so smoothly, and I think that's the key that I want in all my makeup, is to blend in seamlessly on the skin, and this does just that, with it giving you an intense glow. So you just need a tiny bit It just blends into the skin. You get the intensity, and I really like the color. And the last one is a powder, which I surprised myself. But this is the Dior, what is this called? Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette. And I've had this in my collection for years, and it's just so good. I love all these colors. My favorite is definitely this peach right here. I think it has the most natural glow. It blends into the skin so well. I love the tone that it has. These two down here are a little bit more, I would say they're a little bit more glittery and intense, but what I do, I just pop it right at the top of my cheekbone, and that just gives me a little bit more oomph. And this one, this one, I actually use it as a bronzer topper. When I want a glowy bronzer, I just use this one. I just put it all over the skin so I can look like I'm shining from space. And so good. I just love this product. It's been a favorite for a long time now, and I'm almost hitting pan on the peach color. Moving on to another area that I found very difficult, and that is the eyeshadow palettes. And I'm not really surprised of what I picked because these have been palettes that I have just loved overall, like the formula. The colors was the hardest part. So yes, they're Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath because I just love them so much. I will start with the one that it was just an immediate, obviously I'm going to pick that one, and that is the Natasha Denona Biba palette. This is my just everyday go-to palette. If I need good mattes, I come to this. If I need neutral mattes, I come to this. If I need more warm mattes, I come to this. If I need more cool mattes, I come to this. This is just an everyday amazing palette, and I would say that out of all of them, if I just had this palette with some toppers, I would be fine. I could create so many looks from this one, and even the shimmers in this one, they're just gorgeous. They're very intense, and I actually really love this one right here. It has such a beautiful undertone, the color Rustic. They're just gorgeous. I love them so much. So this was absolutely no-brainer. This again has been in my collection since it first came out, and I have used it a lot. I have so much dent in this palette. There's some cream to powder, if I'm not mistaken, like this one and this one, the tone. Just overall, you have cream to powder, mattes, and then like shimmers. You don't have these crazy toppers, which I love, but overall, I think this is just such a good basic palette that I can overlook the no toppers section. Next one is also a Natasha Denona palette, and this is by far my favorite palette that Natasha Denona just came out with, and that is the Gold palette. If you don't know, I just love warm-ish tones and browns, and I find this palette to have the most unique formulas. It gives you a lot of browns. You can have like that bronzy look, but you also have these very unique colors right here. This one and this one right here. They look similar, but the texture is different, and it looks different on the eyes. They are just so good. Also, this one right here, if you want a little bit more punch, this is so gorgeous, and it has like that sparkle in it. Just stunning. I could not pick this one because out of all the Natasha Denona palettes, this is by far my favorite. It gives me so much dimension. It gives me so many different textures. The mattes are amazing. It's probably my go-to brown mattes. Now it has a little bit more fun colors, which is the reason why I wouldn't pick this one first out of all of them, just because these colors are more like occasion colors for me. But all this section right here is just everyday colors. But yeah, I love this one so much, and I had to include it. And the last one was kind of a struggle for me. It's definitely Pat McGrath, but it was between two. It was between the Bronze Seduction and the new Pat McGrath palette. And this is the Utopian, and I picked this one. And I will tell you the reason I picked this one over the Bronze Seduction. The reason is because I already have two palettes that have a lot of gold, a lot of warmth, a lot of bronziness in them. And I wanted a bit more color. I wanted a little bit of pink, and this gives it to me. And it's just so good. I love these two toppers. This one is just amazing. I've used it in a few videos already. I really like the mattes as well. I like that you get this like more intense punchy color. Look at that coral color, it's beautiful. So I found that this color in my collection of 3 palettes would give me a little bit more color to play with. It would give me a little bit of something more than browns, and I can make a brownie look with these colors right here either way. So I love the texture. The only color out of all this that I'm not the most excited about is this bronzy color. I don't love the undertone of this one, but in every one of her palettes, there's one that I'm just like, I wish it was a little different. But that is the only one. I also love this duochrome color. It is pretty dark, but it is beautiful. I was thinking to compare this one to the Divine Rose. Like I was thinking, which one would I pick? But I would go for this one just because of these toppers right here and the mattes. I think they're just a little bit more different. Like I really like that coral color. So yes, I love this one, and this would be my 3rd pick in the palette. Moving on to toppers, I had to make a category just for toppers, and it was very hard to pick 3, but I did it. Good for me. The first one is the most underrated topper, and that is this Bobbi Brown Luxe eyeshadow in Moonstone. Now mine is broken because I use it so much. I have to put it in there, but this one is just a perfect topper. Let me try to show you guys just how beautiful this looks. This one has a little bit of pink in there. It's not too white. If you tap it on the eye, it looks a little bit more like a sparkly goodness. The color is just perfect, and I use it a lot. Like I find that this is my most used topper. Let's see if you guys can see that. It just gives so much dimension to your eye look. Every time you tap this one on top, it just changes the look. I have this one in my collection for like brides as well, and just perfection. So good. I will definitely be repurchasing it the second I run out of it. It is so stunning. I would say definitely my go-to topper out of my whole collection. The next one is an Hourglass topper, and I was kind of debating, should I put this in, should I not, just because the whole Hourglass drama, but I can't deny that I love this one so much. And this color is in Array. This is a Scatter Lights eyeshadow, and it is so beautiful and just intense. I think it is a perfect undertone for me. It is enough sparkles, and I can intensify it and have it look pretty intense, or I can just dab it on top of another shadow and just have it give a little bit more dimension. I just find this to be so beautiful, so unique. It stays in place. I can blend it out and just use it as a one shadow. And yeah, I think it's so good. I needed to mention it because this is honestly one of the ones that I would pick if I could only have 3. And the last one is a newer product, which, you know, I was kind of like, oh, okay. This is the Chanel one, and this is in the color New Moon. And I find this to have such a beautiful consistency. I love the color. I needed a bronzy one. I needed a bright light one like the Bobbi Brown one. And I needed a rosy one. And this one, it is just beautiful. The consistency is so unique. It is right there. The consistency is creamier than you'd expect. But it gives you quite a lot of shine. So on the eye, it really is so reflective, and I just love it so much. I had to include it because I wanted to have one that was a little bit more pinky and not so bronzy. Wow, I have talked so much. Okay, quickly, mascaras, easy peasy. My Ilia new mascara. This is the fullest volumizing mascara. My Tom Ford Badass mascara. and my Bite Beauty mascara. These are my go-to mascaras. I would love to have all of them in my collection, and I don't need any other ones. Honestly, if I just had like the Bite Beauty by itself, I would be fine. But if I were to pick 3, these would be it. When it comes to eyeliners, I'm just not a huge fan of liners overall. I did pick 3. I picked a nude color, which is this Tarte, what is this? Fake Awake. Yeah, it's this nude color that goes on my waterline. I do like to use that a lot. Honestly, my favorite was the Boss liner, and that's kind of discontinued now, and I haven't found one that's just as good. I like the Pat McGrath black liner as well, but it's not as good as the Milk makeup liner. The next one is a gel liner, and this is the Inglot gel liners. I really like them. I've been using them for a very long time, and they do dry out, but I have that dropper that you put in, and it just makes it like brand new, and they're amazing. I love how pigmented they are. I love how well they stay on the eye, and yeah, that's a great gel liner. And then my all-time favorite liquid liner is the Tom Ford liner. It is so expensive, however, you get a ton of product here, a ton of product. And now what I have done with mine is this side, I left it open by mistake, and it is completely dry. Like I could cry. It's completely dried out because I left the cap off for like a week and I didn't realize it. However, the other side is still intact, and it's black, like right there. It's still working. I still like to tight line with this one. If you do lashes, which I don't, you could just touch up, because this is such a tiny brush at the end that it's so precise, and I really like the formula. It stays in place all day long. All right, all we have is lips. I'm not gonna stay here long because the lip liners, I've already talked about them, each of them, in my favorite nude lipstick collection. And it's these: Makeup Forever, Anywhere Caffeine, M Cosmetics in the color Mink, and Iconic Nude by Charlotte Tilbury. These are the 3 lipsticks I need. Even if I wear red, I would still probably use the M Cosmetics or one of these. I don't need a red liner to achieve a red look. I know it sounds crazy, but I do it. And then when it comes to lipsticks, this is kind of harder for me because I know which ones are my nude favorites, but I would like to have at least one color that was just a little bit fun. So the nude lipstick that I picked is the Catwalking by Charlotte Tilbury. I just love this one. This is definitely my go-to lipstick at the moment. It's the matte formula. I love matte lipsticks. I love the undertone. I like how it's a little bit lighter than her other nudes, and I like that it's more of that brownie undertone rather than pink. So amazing. Next one is this Rare Beauty. What is this called? I never know their name. Lip Souffle, maybe? Yeah, maybe. In the color Brave. And this is such a unique, stunning color. It is more of a brighter color that has a little bit of that burnt color in it. I know this is not smart to wear this, but I just think it's so unique. It kind of matches a little bit what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing a Wayne Goss lipstick. It's not this, but it gives me the same vibe. I really love these kind of rustic, a little bit red, a little bit orange in there colors. But I like that this one is not too intense. It's not too orangey. It's not too red. And so I feel like this, I could actually use it more as a nude with a little bit of punch. I love that color. And I was so tempted to pick another nude, but I didn't. Good for me. My next one is a red color, and that is the Lisa Eldridge Velvet Dragon color. I will take my sleeve off for this one. This color is just perfection for me. It is an orange red. It is intensely pigmented. The undertone is perfection, and it's not too orange where it makes your teeth yellow. It's not too red because I don't love just full-on red. I love this undertone. This is one of my perfect reds. I know her ribbon is one of her more popular reds, but for me, I like this one more. I like it more because, again, I am more of an orange undertone lipstick girl, and I just think it's so flattering on my skin tone, and honestly on many skin tones. So I wanted to have a red, and this is definitely the red that I would pick. Now, I will not share any glosses just because overall glosses is not even a category for me. I like certain ones in my kit for other people, but for myself, very rarely do I wear a gloss. So maybe I will wear one just in the center to brighten up the lip a little bit, but by itself I really don't wear glosses. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was kind of fun for me to go through each category and really think, okay, which one would I really want in my collection if I could only keep 3. And I think I would be very happy with this collection. And I'm not one that like, oh my gosh, if I lose all my makeup, I'm gonna freak out. It'd be like, oh yay, we get to try new products. So I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. I love chit-chatting with you guys. Everything that I have talked about will be linked down below. The links are affiliate. So if you are interested in any of these products, please go through those links. It costs you nothing, but it helps me so much. So with that being said, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.